Remember this? Snoop Dogg performing at the inaugural crypto ball. It was intended to honor the 60th presidential inauguration, America's first crypto president, President-elect Donald John Trump, his incoming cabinet and administration, wrote the event's website. Well, he gave an interview.
The situation that needs to be explained is that, 30 minutes or 30 years, right? So how long did I DJ for that night? 30 minutes?
Yeah.
Right? So David Sachs, which is the head of crypto. So say, for example, Ebro is David Sachs. He's been my friend for 15 years.
Pause here. Wait, you're friends with David Sachs?
This is really illuminating, Chris. Who are the PayPal Mafia, and how are they linked to apartheid-era South Africa?
Well, they're a group of men who are at the top, the founding of PayPal, all of whom in some way or other grew up in South Africa as children. You've got Musk himself, who was born in South Africa and lived there, went to high school there until he was 18 and then moves to Canada. You've got Peter Thiel, who was a co-founder with Musk of PayPal. Thiel was born in Germany, but brought to South Africa as a young child. His father was a mining engineer, lived in Johannesburg, and then moved to Southwest Africa, which was then a South African colony, is now Namibia. And he went to school in Swakopmund, which was notorious as probably the last place on the planet where people still openly greeted each other with Heil Hitler and celebrated Hitler's birthday. He went to a German school there before moving to the United States when he was 10 or 11. You've got David Sachs, who was born in Cape Town. He's big in PayPal and is now Trump's AI and crypto czar. He moved to Tennessee as a relatively young child, but grew up in the white South African diaspora there. And you've got Roelof Botha, who was the son of the grandson of Pik Botha, the last foreign minister of apartheid South Africa. He was the acceptable face of apartheid. You'll remember he used to run around the United States trying to put a gloss on how they were reforming things and that everything was getting better.
Like PayPal Mafia, David Sachs, the same guy who was the editor-in-chief of a libertarian newspaper that his homeboy and Elon Musk's homeboy, Peter Thiel, founded. He and Thiel would even co-author a book that was titled The Diversity Myth, Multiculturalism and Political Intolerance on Campus. Wow, isn't that really shaping up for the future? The book's content, arguing against anti-Western zealotry and downplaying the seriousness of date R-word, saying it's merely belated regret from the woman. They would apologize, Thiel and Sachs, years later. David Sachs, a billionaire who is not only big into crypto, he has also invested in Elon's companies like SpaceX, Tesla, Palantir. Speaking of, the CEO, Alex Karp.
Do you want to hear my answer?
Watch this conceited, smug, arrogant, pretentious, spineless little prick squirm his way through an absolute tone-deaf, sociopathic answer as he's confronted with the reality that his company, Palantir, he being the CEO, are complicit in mass murdering children in Gaza for the crime of assisting the Israeli occupation forces with surveillance data, targeting, AI, intelligence, software, and even operational planning.
So, I think the primary cause of death to Palestinians, primary source of death in Palestine is the fact that Hamas has realized that there are...
Of course, we all knew that he was bound to drop the H word in his contrived, choreographed response, and now we have on record that the CEO of Palantir, Alex Karp, is guilty of war crimes, as collective punishment is a war crime under international law. But a curious thing happened after he said this. He got shut down.
Is the fact that Hamas has realized that there are millions and millions of useful idiots that will...
This is why you don't get left to speak.
And all she had to say was, "That's not an excuse." And he is completely silenced. Watch him falter as he realizes slowly that condemning Hamas no longer works in justifying the Israeli war crimes of collective punishment and genocide.
Can we get security up there?
And now look, his little stage buddy has to call for backup. Pathetic.
Not to be outdone, he and Teal would also put forth this article, "The Case Against Affirmative Action." Wow, it's like all of these kingmakers are writing the playbook for Republican policy. He would be named by Trump as the White House czar for AI and crypto. I just remembered Linda McMahon saying AI and A1 and cryptocurrency to safeguard free speech online and steer us away from big tech bias and censorship. Oh my, hasn't that been a success? So, in a post on Truth Social, Trump said Sachs will focus on making America the clear global leader in both areas. In my opinion, what we have seen is rug pulling by Donald Trump and also a way to evade, I want to say this carefully, to allegedly evade certain ways of being caught, to curry favors to different political parties and countries, governments, by them investing in him through crypto. He has also rolled back regulations, so it feels like it is so glaringly obvious. Sherilyn I. Phil, a civil rights attorney, would post that Musk, Teal, and Sachs all share formative ties to apartheid South Africa is such an obvious tell that I guess folks have just chosen to ignore it. I do not and will not. As they more publicly embrace positions and views and candidates whose views on race and discrimination are consistent with the grotesquely racist values of that odious regime, the omission becomes more glaring. It says something about the company you keep. Don't you think, Snoop?
Imagine that relationship that I have with Ebro, and he gets the job at the White House, and then Ebro says, "Hey, Snoop, I have an event. There are some very important people there that's going to help with the initiatives that you want to do dealing with the community in the hood. We need you to show up. We got a bag for you and a bag for the community. We just need you for 30 minutes. Boom. Ebro, I'm there. Show up, do the show, go back to the public. Man, why he do that for him over here? Right. Why he represent him over here when all I did was something for him over here for my people over there? But the perspective sometimes is always thrown out of context because the media threw out their comment. I didn't say nothing.
I guess the question is this, is all money good money? According to some reporting, Snoop Dogg has been investing in crypto for a few years now, Bitcoin being one, Dogecoin being another. So I'll keep it brief. And I suppose I shall ask this to all of you in the comments as well. I understand you have friendships. I understand you have loyalty and allegiances to certain people. But if those people are working to undermine the same people that you are trying to level up in a very tough and rigorous society that is built on exploitation, how are you benefiting and how are they benefiting? You're taking money from people like David Sachs, Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, crypto guys, Silicon Valley bros, and you're saying that the work that you have done has helped many people, but you're also lending your services for their benefit to continue this level of exploitation, giving you a very, very, very small slice of the pie, and then funneling that down so the people you care about get an even smaller slice of the pie. Like, I just don't know how the math is mathing, honestly. If someone wants to help, comment down below. If you can and are willing, please become a paid member here at TYT Sports. And or go to tyt.com/join. In addition, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate it. Have a great day.